All right, guys, so about 6 weeks away from the NFL draft. We know the draft can absolutely change the history of your franchise. It can mean the difference between winning a Super Bowl or not winning a Super Bowl. And crushing the draft has been a specialty for the Baltimore Ravens since their inception. Now, check this out. We're also about 5 days away from NFL free agency. So the official offseason business is starting to heat up. So we got our mock draft 2.0. If you guys saw yesterday's video, man, we said we'd have a mock draft for you guys today. And this was very, very tough for me this time around. So let's go ahead and start off with the 27th overall pick in the NFL draft. The Baltimore Ravens select cornerback Benjamin Morrison. Man, I know what you're thinking, but Noah, we just drafted the cornerback in the first round last year. Yes, I know. I hear you. But can you just imagine with me? Benjamin Morrison, who's a 6'1", physical, another Notre Dame defensive back. And last time we went to the Notre Dame well in the first round with Kyle Hamilton, it kind of worked out. So Kyle Hamilton in the secondary with Benjamin Morrison and Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey and our Darius Washington. Then imagine you sign a guy like Justin Reed or Javon Holland in free agency, and man, you could instantly have one of the best young defensive back rooms in the National Football League. So Benjamin Morrison, a little bit different than Nate Wiggins. They're both outside corners, but Benjamin Morrison is a 6'1", 193-pound corner. So he's got some beef to him. He's strong, but he's also very fast. He was almost always charged with going to man-to-man and shutting down a team's wide receiver one. There were some good reps of him last year shutting down Marvin Harrison Jr., who we saw was a top pick in the NFL draft. I just think he's a great physical outside corner, Baltimore Raven type of player. Reminds me a little bit of Jimmy Smith coming out of the draft. But just this would allow Marlon Humphrey to move into the slot where he had both of his Pro Bowl selections. This would also allow Kyle Hamilton to play deep safety, dime linebacker, wherever, just have him as his chess piece. And then, you'd have Nate Wiggins and Benjamin Morrison on the outside. TJ Tampa and Jalen Armour-Davis would be in that competition as well. But we know Brandon Stevens is a free agent. He was our main starter on the outside. So he's probably not coming back, and the Ravens have some room for some more talent in the secondary. I think just adding young, talented corners, you can never go wrong with that. You can never have enough corners. I think him paired up with Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey would just be nasty. So in this situation, it was just best player available for me. In the second round, we went with defensive tackle Deonte Walker out of Kentucky, adding more pass rush to the interior of the defensive line, building up those trenches. You'll see with our second two picks, we went trenches. Because I think, 2 out of your first 4 picks are need to go towards those trenches to beef up, whether it's the offensive line or the defensive line. But Deonte Walker, he's just massive. He's 6'7", 331 pounds. He's almost impossible to block one-on-one. But it's not just his strength and his size. He's got some real athleticism. So I think Deonte Walker paired up with Matabike would be a nice compliment. Travis Jones, adding to those trenches, man. With the third pick, at pick 91 overall, we went with offensive guard Dylan Fairchild out of Georgia. The offensive line maintains a priority for me, man. I know the Ravens are probably going to roll with Daniel Falele at right guard again because he got a lot of starting experience. He's obviously, John Harbaugh and offensive coordinator Todd Monken seem to really like him. So they're probably going to roll with Falele at right guard. However, left guard is a major question mark. We really don't know who's going to play left guard because Patrick McCarry was the starting left guard. It's reports out of the NFL Combine that he's going to have a real market in free agency. Teams are going to pursue him. So I think he's gone. Andrew Voorhees, he showed some good things. He also showed some struggles on tape. So he definitely remains in the mix. But I think adding another guy to compete with Falele and Voorhees at those guard positions would be huge. His scouting report reads that he's a powerful and technically sound offensive lineman with versatility to excel at guard or tackle. We know versatility is huge. Known for his physicality and aggression. Man, those two words scream Baltimore Raven. Physicality, aggression. You know, it says at times he can be overly aggressive, which can hurt his technique. I'd rather my guy be overly aggressive than not have that dog in him. And he just seems to have that dog in him. He's 6'5", 318 pounds. He's athletic and can get out and pull, but just also very powerful and technically sound. I would love to add some more guard talent here. So first 3 picks, we got corner, shoring up that secondary with Brandon Stevens as a free agent and just building that no-fly zone with Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, or Darius Washington. Second round pick, we add some more beef to that defensive line to get after the quarterback, to shut down opposing run games, to add depth there, Deonte Walker. Third round pick, offensive guard, to come in and compete at left guard, Dylan Fairchild. And then with our next pick, we got wide receiver Jimmy Horn Jr. out of Colorado. Opened up the season with a 198-yard performance, 441 yards and a touchdown, only through 9 games before he went down with injury. He would later return. He's a little bit smaller. I thought about going with a bigger body here, but there wasn't a guy on the board at the time, and my best available wide receiver I thought was Jimmy Horn. I really like him. One of the stats that I really started paying attention to during the combine was the gauntlet drill. The guy is really rocked up, like a physical type of player. People were saying that the body type was kind of similar to Steve Smith Sr. Now, Jimmy Horn Jr. had a 4.46, 38-inch vertical jump, 10.8 broad, 1.54 10-yard split. Then he had the fastest time for the gauntlet drill, which ever since Puka Nacua had the fastest time on that, despite having some slower other numbers, I started to look back, and there has been an actual link between players that perform well and fast on the gauntlet drill. Having those natural ball fluidity, smooth skills during that drill translate to the NFL field, running in that direction while also having your head turned. Jimmy Horn Jr. absolutely killed it, and I liked adding another weapon for Lamar Jackson here, especially because, like we've discussed a lot, there's 3 real receivers on the roster right now. It's Bateman, Flowers, and Devontae Walker. Nelson Aguilar and Tylan Wallace are both free agents, so the Ravens have some work to do at that wide receiver position. And in the 4th round, we went offensive guard, Miles Frazier, adding some more competition to that offensive line. 6'5", 317 pounds. He had a 9.55 out of 10 athleticism score. This is what a scouting report says, that he's a powerful and versatile offensive lineman with extensive experience across multiple positions, primarily excelling at guard. Also mentions that he's good at pulling combination blocks, things that we run in Baltimore with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson as the best dual-threat quarterback in NFL history. So I believe these 2 young guard prospects in the 3rd and 4th round, and Dylan Fairchild and Miles Frazier, could be the future. You know, the future starting guards long-term for the Baltimore Ravens. Daniel Falele, I think, only has 1 more year left on his contract. And we need to keep adding talent to that offensive line. We always talk about Philly being the example. You know, they've been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years, and they won 1 of them. They got past Kansas City, and they did it with elite trench play, you know. So in this draft, in our first 4 rounds, we got 3 players in the trenches. Deonte Walker, defensive tackle, 2 offensive guards, another playmaker for Lamar, some more depth at the wide receiver position, and Jimmy Horn. And then Benjamin Morrison, a possible lockdown corner to be opposite of Nate Wiggins and that secondary, man. So let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, your top prospects, guys that you really want. I really wanted to, in the first round, I wanted to go Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon. But in every mock draft I did, he always went right before the Ravens picked. But I would be happy to grab a game-wrecking first-round defensive tackle as well, whether that's Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon, Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. But I really want more of a pass rush specialist, man. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.
when he wasn't looking. He ran me over.